We've got to talk. If you are struggling to enroll students, to keep them, and just to grow your school or academy, I need to have a conversation with you. Hey everybody, if you're new to this channel, my name is Jennifer Waters and I'm one of the founders of 7-Figure Dojo, where we actually help transform and turn people's dreams into reality as far as growing their school and their academy. Now, I actually started way back when I was 18 years old and our school was struggling. But over the course of the next 4.5 to 5 years, I developed something called the 7-Figure Dojo method. And by utilizing that method, we went from a few $1,000s a month to over $1 million a year. And for the last 14 years and counting, we've been hitting over $1 million+ per year. And now what I do on a regular day-to-day basis is help other school and academy owners learn how to do the exact same thing. But I gotta tell you, I need to have a conversation with a lot of people out there that honestly are making some pretty huge mistakes, and I don't wanna see you make them. I wanna see you succeed. So let's dig into it. If you're not making the money that you actually want to make, that you need to make in your school and your academy, honestly, it's probably because you're teaching too much. Now, I know, you might be thinking, what? Teaching too much? That's what I do. But I want you to stick with me for a moment. If you are teaching 5 days a week and you have 30 students, 40 students, even if you have less than 100 students and you're teaching 5 days a week from early afternoon to evening time, and you don't have time to go out and find new students, you need to teach less. If you're stuck 100 to 200 students, it's because there's so much teaching going on and there's not enough marketing, there's not enough sales actually happening to increase the student count. I see this happen all the time, and I honestly used to be really guilty of this too, because I think that it's the quality of my classes that's driving the students to want to join. It's actually not even that. And I used to get so frustrated because there were schools and academies up the street from us that taught really crappy stuff that I would be embarrassed for my students to be doing those things, but yet they were, and they were more successful than we were. They had hundreds of students, and I kept hitting my head against a brick wall going, why not us? Why can't it be us? And that was really when I realized that it had nothing to do with the quality. Although I pledged to make sure that our students were always high quality by ensuring that the instructors that did end up teaching a lot of the classes were trained properly, that the standards were there for testing, that I made sure that those students would be able to move to a higher level. They would be able to really progress. But I had to start marketing more. I had to start finding leads and actually going out into the community and getting those leads. And that meant that I had to stop being so dang busy teaching that I had time to go and enroll new students into my school. So if you're doing this right now, if you're stuck below 100 or below 200, it's because you're teaching too much or you don't have people to teach for you. And if you don't have people to teach for you and you're like, Jen, it's just me, I'm a one-man, one-woman show, you've got to start developing a team. And I know that sounds a lot harder and it sounds a lot easier than what it really is, but to a certain extent, it's not as hard as what you think it is. Which brings me to step number 2. Don't do it alone. You have got to be able to create the same amount of loyalty that you have from your students. You've got to duplicate that and be able to create that with your team. If you're telling yourself excuses like, I'm just not good at managing people, nobody would want to actually help me, or you're saying things like, well, I don't have enough money to pay for people to help me. Listen, there are a ton of ways for you to start developing a team. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and leverage some time that you could start going out into the community and getting those leads. So if that means taking one of your smaller classes that you could train somebody else to teach, then start with that one so you can go and get those leads, or so that you can get on the phones and call the leads that you've already generated. You've got to start somewhere, or you've got to reduce your class schedule to be able to accommodate the marketing, the sales processes that you need. But when it comes to developing staff, the next thing is, if you're not spending time actually developing the staff, they will not develop on their own. And I get it. If you're like 99% of the people that I encounter, you had no formal instruction. You just figured out how to teach. But just because you went through that doesn't mean that you need to put your team through that. Matter of fact, one of the things that we've really stayed consistent on is team training. Developing the team not only to do the skills that we need for them to do, but also to develop the mindset that we need them to have in order to be effective teachers and team members inside of our business. Another thing that I see too many school and academy owners spending so much of their time on is going to seminars, going to tournaments in order to perfect their craft even more. Listen, you are probably light years ahead of any students that are coming in your school right now. And If you can't stay 6 months ahead of a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, you have an issue. You've got to be able to have enough knowledge and training to stay ahead of a beginner, but you certainly don't need 20 years worth of training, and you certainly don't need to learn this extraordinary advanced technique that you wouldn't be able to teach to someone until they already had 5 to 10 years of experience. You have enough skill set to grow your business. So instead of spending money on seminars to perfect your craft, to exercise your competitive ability, if you really want to grow your school and you're serious about it, you'll put those on a shelf until you're making so much money that your school can run by itself while you go and you take additional lessons or training for yourself. But until then, focus on your business and focus on growing it. And the final mistake that I see so many school and academy owners just get stuck in is you keep trying to do things yourself. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So what I would want to see you do is I would want to see you invest into mentorship, into finding out what it is that you want to do and finding a person that's already done it before and then modeling what they've already done. Now, a lot of our clients, they do this exact same thing. And we've taken clients all the way up to 7 figures and beyond by following the systems and the strategies and the plans that we have in place already. They didn't have to come up with on their own. And because we've spent millions of dollars and thousands of hours being able to invest into our own systems and investing into our own methodology, other people don't have to do the exact same thing. So if you want to fast forward or fast track yourself to success, find somebody else that's already really successful and model what they're doing. Sometimes that means watching a YouTube video, just like what you're doing right now. Sometimes that also means working more closely with them so that you're not guessing at all the pieces and trying to fill in the blanks, but you've literally already got an open book test in front of you with all the answers already filled out on the page. Hey, listen, if you're getting a ton of value out of this and you want to dive deeper, you want to work a little bit closer with me and my team, go to our website, sevenfiguredojo.com. It'll give you all the information about what we do to help school and academy owners. Until next time, keep being awesome, and I'll see you on the next video.